In this tutorial, we will be talking about composite bar charts. We will be going through a brief explanation at first, and then we will get to solve an exercise. Composite bar charts are used to show parts of a whole. As you can see here, in the middle of the screen, this is what a composite bar chart looks like. You can notice that it is different from a multiple bar chart. This composite bar chart shows the amount of water used by 3 different households over a 4-month period. Now, as you can see here, you have month number 1, 2, 3, and 4, each represented by a bar for a single month. Each bar has 3 sectors, each sector represented by a color. The total height of each bar represents a total amount. The length of the bar is divided into parts that show each category share of the total amount. You can see that the green part represents the Smith household, the yellow for the Khan household, and the blue for the Ozbek household. Now, what we're going to get to know is how to differentiate each and every single bar and how to extract data from each bar to get to know more about the water usage throughout the month. To interpret a composite bar chart, you need to work out what each bar represents and then do a calculation to find the fraction or percentage of the total that each part represents. Now, this is exactly what we're going to do in the exercise that's going to follow. We're going to get to know the fractions representing each household in each month to get to extract data. Now, as you can notice, the tip of each bar at the end represents the total of water consumption throughout the whole month by all 3 households, the Smith, Khan, and the Ozbek household. Now, this is just some general information about composite bar charts. Now, let's go ahead and solve this exercise. Part A says who used the most amount of water on the second month. Now, the question is focusing on the second month. So, throughout the whole bar chart, we're going to focus on the bar number 2, since bar number 2 represents the second month, and it is the one right here. And you can notice that the biggest chunk out of the second bar is the yellow chunk, and that represents the Khan household. And so, the Khan household is obviously the most household using water during month number 2. Now, moving on to part B. Part B says who used the least amount of water on the first month. It's obviously the blue chunk, and that representing the Ozbek household. So, we say that the Ozbek household is the household that has used the least amount of water throughout month number 1. Now, part C says what fraction of the amount of water was used by the Ozbek on the 4th month. And so, what we're going to have to do is to extract the total and the fraction of the blue chunk. Now, this is the blue chunk right here, representing the water usage for the Ozbeks during month number 4. And the whole bar represents the total for all 3 households, the Smith, Khan, and Ozbeks. And so, let's go ahead and find the total first. Obviously, the total is somewhere around 220. And as for the blue chunk, it ends somewhere around 80 kiloliters. And so, the fraction is basically 80 kiloliters over 220 kiloliters. This fraction represents the Ozbek's usage. Let's go ahead and simplify this fraction, divide both sides by 10. We're going to have 8 over 22. Now, obviously, we can even simplify this fraction even more by dividing each side by 2. After division, we're going to have a fraction of 4 over 11. And so the fraction 4 over 11 is basically the fraction that represents the Ozbek's usage during the last month, month number 4. And this is basically how you extract data from composite bar charts.